E ngā iwi o te motu, nau mai, haere mai, ki tēnei pāhotanga motuhake, i a tātou e whakamaumahara ana, e whakamānawa ana hoki, i te tōtara haimata o te ao kiriata, ka ngaro nei. Ko mātai Smith ahau. A warm East Coast welcome and thank you for joining us on this special Tūranga FM broadcast, where we remember and honour the life and indeed the legacy of Lee Tamahori. He uri nā porourangi, he Ngāti, he whanoke. Lee was a trailblazing filmmaker who took our stories to the world, all while remaining pumo to the people and places that helped shape him. Hioi, ahakoa tōna rongonui i te ao kiriata, his heart never left home. Arā ko kai aua tērā ki waho atu o Uawa. Ko I rā tōna whenua taurikura, Lee's Piece of Paradise. In this tribute, we take a look at the man behind the camera, tōna reo, āna taera, āna pukenga rau, me tōna tirohanga motuhake ki te ao. We'll share archival interviews and reflections from those who knew and worked with him. We've also captured intimate moments from his tangihanga, mai I te marae o te mā hurehure I Tāmaki Makaurau, a mutu ana ki tōna takotoranga whakamutunga ki te tairāwhiti nei. Hioi anō, ko te pātai pea kei ngā ngutu o te marea. Nā wai a Lee Tamahori. He aha hoki o na kāwai whakapapa ki ngā iwi o te tairāwhiti nei. I kōrero tahi māua ko te karangatahi a Lee, arā, a Pene Campbell.
Ko te tipuna a Lee, ko pānapa te whēru ka moi I a hera hirere. Nā rāua ka puta hēni kainata, ka paku moi ki te makarauria, ka puta tō mātou kraua Pene Amene Tamahori.
Pene Tamahori, te minita o te pariho hikurangi I ngā taukimuri.
Te Pene Tamahori nei ko ia te kraua o Lee. Ka moi I a Pene Tamahori I a mere ana muhini a Goldsmith.
Me pēnei rā te kōrero a tēnei o ngā pine. Aha koa, kai roti te whānau pani, ko au tētahi o mātou, te mea pakeke o mātou I raene.
Tō mātou pāpā te pāpō o Lee a ko Piripi, pāpā Piripi Pukekawa a koe te pōtiki o te whānau. Ka moi pāpā Piripi I Auntie Pat, ana ka puta ko Lee mā ki te rā moka o te peka o te whānau. Ka tangi mai hotu nā roi mata I rungi nā maumaharatanga. Ko mātai ngā uru pā o ngā whakaaro. Ko koe tērā I nai nei, ko au kei muri, ko koe ko haere ki tua. No reira e heka, moi maira o ti atu.
I whānau mai a Lee I tawa I te whanganui ātara. His first break in film was as a boom operator and first assistant director. Those early years behind the scenes sharpened his eye, instincts and craft. And from those beginnings, he co-founded Flying Fish, a production company that went on to define what many call the golden age of New Zealand advertising. Bold and visually brash, Lee was emerging as a rising star with a style all his own. I kōrero tahi mā o ka tana hoa mahi o mua, a Brian Kassler.
Lee was the boom operator on many films of those early films that we did. Knew him all the way through there when they took the tax breaks off movies in about 1986. Lee kind of started segueing into being a director, a commercials director. And him and I, basically, I was doing a bit of like line producing. We both shifted up the ranks. And we started a little company called Flying Fish. And it's still running today, not with me or Lee, but it's New Zealand's oldest production company. And we had a pretty good time. We made some pretty amazing ads over the years. Special time really.
But it was Lee's next project that changed everything. Once We're Warriors launched a career and packed out theatres like this one across the nation. In fact, it was here at the Odeon Theatre in Tūranga that I first saw Warriors with my sixth form media studies class. Raw, gritty, and physically charged, it showed an urban reality never before seen on the big screen. The response was immediate. Once We're Warriors became a cultural phenomenon and a critical success worldwide. Its influence stretched across borders and decades, redefining Māori representation and inspiring filmmakers globally. Those who were alongside Lee during that time describe a director of deep conviction who understood the gravity of the story and carried it with purpose. Anei te mātanga whakaari a Temuera Morrison rāua ko te tumu whakahaere a Robin Scholes.
I suspect when the roll call is made and I've retired out of this game, the films I'll probably be the most proud of will be Once We're Warriors and the smaller films.
Well, I've tried.
I was wondering who was going to watch this film and buy popcorn and eat ice cream watching Jake Eke do his stuff, so I had no idea where the film was going to go. Yeah, we're going to miss Lee dearly, but a man of mana, knowledge, and was our gateway to Hollywood.
Cook the men some eggs.
You want eggs? We'll have the bloody lot of them!
Yeah, looking back, you know, would we have done things differently? You know, I had a very personal reason for making the film because I had been a victim of a home invasion, and so I also wanted to tell that story about how women who are victims can overcome that. And so for me, I guess that was one, and for Lee as well, like Lee made it a woman's story.
Beth Hickey? What now?
Been keeping bad company.
Was that before or after you picked him up?
Coming out of the Cannes Film Festival, Cliff and I both standing there because we were sitting there, now let's watch all the people coming out. And these are Cannes Film Festival people, so they know movies. They know the business. And seeing them all come out of there after Warriors, whoo, they were just shaken up. They'd never seen anything like it. It was raw, emotional, and it moved people in a way. So Cliff and I were standing there, and they'd all run to Rena and give her a hug, and then they'd see us and go, oh, oh. And Cliff and I got a bit uncomfortable at times. We're saying, hey, bro, no one's talking to us. I said, oh, that's because you're the rapist and I'm the bloody wife beater. Who the hell's going to talk to us?
You should learn to pay your respects. In case you want to know, it's Jake. Jake the Muss.
But no, I love that film dearly because we all went out on a major limb making that film.
I personally think that he was not really well recognised in New Zealand. I think when you went overseas, I mean, he was, especially as there's been an increase in Indigenous film making and the importance of telling Indigenous stories, that's where he has, you know, he's seen as an absolute pioneer of Indigenous storytelling.
Yeah, so I'm just having a little tangi here because it made me think about what Lee means to all of us. He was just, without Warriors, of course, none of us would have been noticed.
Mai I Aotearoa ki ngā whare kiriata o te ao. Hollywood thrillers, large-scale productions, iconic casts. Mulholland Falls, The Edge, Along Came a Spider, Triple X, State of the Union, Next, The Devil's Double, and of course, Die Another Day, the James Bond blockbuster. Engari, ahakoa tōna angi tū, ko te kāinga tonu tōna manawa. With Mahana and The Convert, Lee returned home to whakapapa and whenua, the stories of his people, the stories that meant the most to him. I kōrero tahi māua ko tiore ngā tai Melbourne, tētahi o ngā whetū maiangi, nā Lee aia I poipoi I morimori.
Taku tūtaki atu ki tēnei kaua, he tinohu Māori e ia. No te taurua mano, 21 tahi pai tūtaki atu au ki a Lee. te ahua nei buara, he tangata kōhete, engari i takitutanga atu ki a Lee, he tangata wairua aroha, he tangata hāngai, he tangata e mōhio ana me pēhea te tohu.
I ask that you spare the lives of these people. Choose. I cannot make that choice.
Very well.
Ia māua e mahi ana I runga I te convert, ka mea mai tana huawahine a Justine, he oriti wā māua hikoe. Nā te mea, no te tai rāwhiti, he oriti hoki te ahua, kawe hoki, no reira. Kia au nei I tino kai ngā kaua Lee, ki au nā te mea, well, no Ngāti Porou, māua tahi.
No tātou tēnei whenua!
Lee had been living with Parkinson's disease for a number of years, and although he chose to keep his diagnosis largely private, he continued to work, direct, mentor, and create, carrying the condition quietly, supported by his partner Justine and their whānau. Earlier this year, Lee sat down with Whakaata Māori presenter Moana Maniapoto and shared a frank and candid reflection on his incredible journey.
Is there pressure? Are you only as good as your last film?
That's true in America. Yeah, America is a place of studio films which has now stopped. And it's become a land of television production. And the films are either giant blockbusters, like Marvel Comics, or they're independent films.
Mm.
The great dramatic movie, like
The Godfather.
The Godfather, doesn't get made anymore for film. People, because audiences are dwindling, everyone's watching it on streamers, and that's where the present, I won't say the future, lies in that. But still, if you do a hit TV series, or if a hit film still breaks out somehow, then you'll get headhunted and you'll be asked to do lots of stuff.
Mm.
If you made something like 2 or 3 failures in a row, I mean financial failures, not critical failures, then the phone doesn't ring. The difference here in New Zealand is if you're a good film director and competent and good at your job and you've made films before, that doesn't matter. Success in New Zealand is not predicated upon box office. That's only part of it.
I'm just going to finish off with a little message, okay? It's from Cliff Curtis. He said, tell Lee he is loved and I have a deep well of gratitude for the path he created for so many of us to see the world and be a part of the world as storytellers, entertainers, practitioners of every discipline in our industry, and of course, as last but not least, as Māori.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Cliff.
Ahakoa tōna maia I katohia a Lee e tōna māwiwitanga a ka moe o na whatu mō hake tonu atu. Lee passed away peacefully surrounded by his partner Justine and close whānau last Friday. And after spending one final night at his whare in Tāmaki Makaurau, he was then taken to Te Māhurehure Marae in Point Chevalier. Mana whenua, friends, colleagues, filmmakers and whānau from across the motu gathered to mourn, remember and celebrate a rangatira of New Zealand film. Anei ko ngā kohinga whakāhua motuhake.
Mamai hokira kia tamanatu kata kita ikoa ngakai hautu o te wapau.
No te ata hāpara o te mane, I kawea te taonga o te mate e tōna whānau ki te ukaipō arā ki te tai rāwhiti. Ki tōna whare anō I kai aua. Ko te kohe tūhaka te māngai mo te whānau pani, I e nei rā whakamutunga o Lee ki te mata o te whenua nei. Anei ana kupu poroporo aki ki tēnei o ngā tohunga o te ao kiriata, a Lee Tamahori.
E rere tonu ngā mihi ki te whānau pani, I tēnei wā tonu. Ko hoki mai a Lee ki tāna ukaipo, e tiraha ana ki raro te mahau a tāna whare. Kei reira tonu te whānau I tēnei wā, e tuku roi mata e tuku hupe ana ki aia tā tātou nei tangata. E puta mai ngā kōrero mō tērā wahanga o tētahi waiata I titongea, e pine āmine Tamahori. Ko tētahi o ngā rerenga o roto rā mā waira e taurima. Ko tētahi o ngā tino kōrero I puta mai te krauwara I mua tāna wehenga I a mātou, tāna matenga I a mātou, rironga I a mātou. Mā waira e taurima ana I tā tātou nei ao kiriata I nāimu. Kua ea te taha ki aia, kua oti, kua tutuki. Ana, nā roto mai ngā mihi kua tukuna ki rungi I aia, ngā ahua whakanui ki rungi I aia, anei mātou, anei au e tū nei, e mea ana, anei te apōpō e taurima ana I wānahia. Mai te ukaipo kai aua, puta noa atu ki te ao, e koro e Lee, aere, aere. Aere atu rā, oki atu.